episode of the Eagles Nest podcast. I'm Vincent Devall, and I don't know what he's doing, but he's supposed to say.
And I'm Brad Brewer, and we're live, which is why there's technical difficulties. Always reaching for my drink. Sparkling water this morning, bubbly.
Yeah, there we go.
Little promotion. They should pay us to advertise them, shouldn't they? So anyway, what's next?
Yeah, so we're officially to spring here in Wisconsin, Illinois, which means longer days, warmer weather, and a lot of homeowners starting to think about getting their homes ready for the season.
Exactly. Today, we're going to dive into some practical spring home prep tips, highlighted with a few local events happening around Burlington this week.
Yeah.
And wrapping things up with, as a golf patron, my favorite week/weekend of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Masters Week.
It is. So let's jump right in and talk about spring home prep.
Yeah, I left the Masters thing for last, I think.
I know you did.
Anyway, spring can be one of the most important times of the year for home maintenance, whether you're staying put or thinking about selling. This is one of the small things, can make a huge difference.
Yeah, so let's break it down into some more important areas of homeowners should focus on. One, preparing their home for the spring and even the market. So Brett, tell me, where should homeowners start when preparing for the spring?
The best place to start outside is outside. Winter can be tough on a home, especially here in Wisconsin. I always recommend starting with gutters, roof inspections, clearing debris from around the property. I would even add in there rechecking some of your grading as things settled in, pushing the rain and stuff towards the house, snow melt, and all that kind of stuff. So, but it really sets the tone for everything else as you move maybe to some of the inside things.
Yeah, I agree. Start with, especially the gutters with spring showers bring Mayflowers, right? That old saying.
Yeah.
Make sure the gutters are on. Make sure they're pushing the water away from the house, and then cleaning up that debris. Like I know a lot of people do a fall cleanup, getting rid of leaves and garbage that's maybe blown into the yard, whatever. Great time just go around and leaf sucker, suck it all up, pick up the garbage, pick up the broken sticks that have fallen.
And I know you're one of these people too, that has you have the watering system, in-ground watering system.
Yep.
Is there any? I know there's probably more work in the fall, winterizing it. Is there a lot of spring?
Well, I think for spring stuff, for the sprinkler system, in-ground sprinkler system is just getting the system turned on, make sure there's no leaks from the ground freezing over the year or over the winter time, but and then just make sure all your sprinkler heads are going where you want them to go. They're when the ground shifts, things shift.
Okay.
Some of your sprinkler heads they might be stuck. They have a little bit of mud or dirt on them, and they may not be sprayed as far as I would suggest. So yeah.
Now, I think this next one's a little bit more important regarding if you are thinking about selling or planning to sell, which is curb appeal. How important is curb appeal this time of year?
God, it's huge. I'll give you a great example. But it's really big if you're really thinking about selling. Something as simple as fresh mulch, trimming bushes, adding a few flowers can completely change how your home is perceived. First impression happens so fast, right? I showed a house on Friday during the day. They had fresh mulch. They had some fresh looking flowers outside. And the yard was cleaned up. They had a dog, or they have a dog. Okay. But we walked the whole yard multiple times, and I didn't see one pile of dog crap in the yard. I mean, it's just amazing, right?
Well,
and they had a golden retriever, so it wasn't like they had a friggin' Frenchie that lives this big.
No, they're big. But anyway, no, that's actually pretty impressive because usually it's the first time when the snow melts too that you look out and of course when the dogs get lazy on your deck, it's like what blew up out here? Well, your dog blew up over the winter time.
And it's even the fresh mulch. Like my buyers walked up and were like, "Wow, this looks great." It hit home right away. Like they were impressed as soon as they pulled in the driveway. So,
well, it's one of the things we've talked about, like the actual benefits of listing your house in the wintertime. Is a lot of times those snow cover or your mulch beds, garden beds are just cut down and they look bare, which is sometimes better than what they look like right now in the spring when you've got some of those leaves starting to blow in or left over from the winter and maybe some of that weed cover that wasn't taken out, things like that. So the fact that someone listing your home this time of year in April, which I call it the ugly time of the year for your outside garden and mulch beds.
And we had a ton of rain last week too.
And especially the amount of rain that we had last week. I think that's actually really, really impressive.
Yeah. Well, and I would even say when we're talking about curb appeal, that this is one that always hits home for me is a fresh welcome mat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a brand new welcome mat says welcome home, right? Not the one that's been there for the last 10 years since you've owned the house, but a nice, clean welcome mat that says welcome home or whatever it might be to make that potential buyer feel like they're walking into what would be their home, right?
Got it.
So, we talked about, landscaping, curb appeal. What about exterior maintenance? What is often overlooked when it comes to exterior maintenance?
I'd say power washing. I'm going to specifically note a lot of times on the north side of a house, the way where your house sits, that's the least amount of sunlight. That's the side of the house that, if you look at home, that's typically where they get a lot of that moss build
Yep.
up and things like that. So a nice power wash on your sidings, I think is great. Also, the sidewalks, the driveways, they can kind of get that dirt build up. I think that's one of the things. The other one is checking the outside caulking around your windows and doors. The expansion of that caulk in the wintertime can just, that little bit of crack can just create just the slightest little opening for little leaks,
Yeah.
which can end up causing a lot more damage, of course.
Another thing too is, added to that, you mentioned driveways. Look at, if you have a blacktop driveway, look at what it's going to take to get it resealed. Some people do it annually, some do it every other year, but it's one of those things that if you put it off for multiple years, it starts to crack, you start getting water in there, then you have bigger cracks in your driveway, it just becomes a pain.
Then you're just getting your entire driveway redone.
Yep.
Which is a much larger expense, of course.
Exactly. So kind of plan accordingly.
All right. Well, this is one that's kind of an interesting topic for you.
Yeah.
What about decks and outdoor living spaces?
Well, let's just tear it all down and build new. That's what I say we do every year, right?
You have said that for the last, I think, 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years. Side note, we talked about redoing our deck. We're actually moving forward with some bigger plans this spring, early summer. So very excited about that. But decks are huge in the spring and summer. Resealing, staining, just like you would your driveway. But the better you protect your deck, the longer it's going to last. And especially if you have a wood deck, if you have the PVC or composite deck, just, power washing it. Make sure your power washer, I'll tell you guys, I've seen this happen. Make sure the power washer isn't, you're not using the little needle head that is going to carve your name in the decking.
In the wood, yeah.
Or in the wood. Make sure you got a wide spray. You just get it decked off, really sprayed off. But yeah, caution to the power washer.
And I would say this too. I've used both. Ever since I realized stain holds up better on the decks. I know people have painted their decks, but you really want to use a stain. It holds up to the traffic and things like that. Also, visually, if you are looking to sell, it's one of the things when you've got deck boards that they're looking worn, but that nice new fresh coat of stain can really help versus a lot of times buyers come in like, oh, this looks like it's rotted. Well, it's not rotted. It just looks ugly because it's starting to peel and flake and stuff like that. So that it's kind of like the inside of the house, how a nice fresh coat of paint can go a long way. Same thing I think on the decks.
Well, on the decks too, that's such a big project that a lot of people are like, man, do I really want to take this on? Don't really want to take on this preventative maintenance that someone else really hasn't done for a period of time, right? So, we talked about the outside. What about getting inside the house? What should we be looking at? What should we be checking, Brad?
Same thing I would say. First thing I say going into winter is your HVAC system. Wintertime, of course, you're more focused. Make sure the furnace is working. But heading into summer, I know I'm one of those people. I love the fresh air in the spring, but once it gets to a certain temperature, sorry, my AC's on and it's on all summer. And so you want to make sure you get your AC serviced to prevent any breakdowns right in the middle of the summer when it's 80, 90 plus degrees outside. So it's a huge difference. And making sure you change out, of course, those air filters to make sure you have good air quality and good efficiency flow with your air.
Yeah. The other thing we talk about, it's not really a system, but the batteries in your smoke detectors, right? Huge one right there. Get the batteries checked in your smoke detectors, change them out. We usually say do it around time change, right? But a lot of people forget. So as you're doing this daily maintenance, if you realize, oh crap, I haven't changed that smoke detector, get it done. Huge safety.
I'd say another one. I've had it done before, done it myself, and I've had it done. Getting it done is actually a pretty good expense. Getting your windows, exterior part of your windows, and screens cleaned.
Yep.
It is amazing how much more light But you'll notice in a room
So true.
where your windows are extremely dirty, and of course the screens get that build up too.
Yeah.
We had it done one time on one of our houses, and afterwards it's like, wow, I didn't know. I think it saved money on electricity heading into the evening hours. The light lasted so much longer.
Yeah.
So just little things like that.
Well, and it's not that if you don't have time to do it, it's not that expensive to bring out one of those window cleaning companies that will clean your windows and screens for you. So just something to keep in mind.
Well, Vince, we are in, of course, Wisconsin, which Wisconsin this time of year, we can have all four seasons in one day.
Yep.
So what are any Wisconsin specific things that you would do?
I'd say just Midwest in general, right? It is your sump pump.
Yep.
Number one thing, check your sump pump, make sure it's working. Maybe you've always had a dry basement and never really had an issue. You still have a sump pump, go down there, grab a hose, fill it up with water, make sure that the float kicks on,
Yep.
make sure that that sump pump is working. Because you've never had an issue doesn't mean that the 100-year rain that we just had a week ago is going to help something flood your basement, right? Or maybe something drain tiles are broken over time and now you're starting to get water in the house or water into the sump pump. Just check your sump pump and then walk around your foundation, interior, make sure you don't see any new cracks. If you do have a crack, has it gotten bigger? And look for water intrusion, signs of water. It could be something small, but check around like your baseboards, right?
Yep.
Or if you're framing, or even like maybe a staining on the concrete, whatever it might be, look for any type of water discoloration.
Yeah, those are great things to look at.
Yeah, so going back outside, what about lawn and landscaping, Brad?
Springtime is probably one of your best times to get that fertilization process started. You seed some of the bare spots, especially around the driveways, where maybe if you had a plow person or you've got your own plow, kind of dug up the yard a little bit, and make sure, of course, that your lawn equipment is functioned, working, make sure any preseason maintenance so that it's good to go for the summer. I think are all important things. And I'll probably throw one more out there. I think even though, it doesn't matter the home type, a lot of times it depends where you live. Doing some of either the bug spray around your house or the ant dropping is to keep the ants from coming into your house. Just little annoyances that I know I get box elder bugs, which they're pretty annoying.
Oh, that's that time of year. And I'll tell you guys, there's a company for those that are here in Burlington area, even Illinois, there's a company in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The guy will come to your house and service your lawn equipment. It is nice if you have a running lawnmower but don't have a trailer to get it somewhere. He will come out and do a spring service to make sure he'll change the oil, check all the belts, sharpen the blades, and you're ready to go. So it's a great little, thing to have or access. I message us and I'll get you the name. I don't remember off the top of my head, but.
And then I know, at least they used to, I used to do it because I didn't have a way to get they did one of my lawn equipments and they also did one of my snowblower one year.
Yeah.
Highway C. Yep. Also in Kenosha County, will come get it, fix it, and bring it back. Might be an extra charge, but it's better than buying a trailer or trying to buy a vehicle that can haul those types of things.
Right, and this guy out of Kenosha does it right there in your driveway.
That's awesome.
So it is really nice and fairly reasonable.
So two really good resources if you don't have the means to basically get your equipment somewhere.
Yeah.
So. All right, interior updates make a huge difference. Again, probably more important if you are thinking about selling, but what are some of those?
Obviously decluttering and letting in that natural light, right? Clean, like you said, clean your windows, rotate out winter items, and create a lighter, more open feel inside the home.
Good time to put away your Christmas lights, by the way, if you haven't.
The house was talking about earlier today. They still have Merry Christmas banner hung up on the eve or peak of their house. I was like, all right, I think we're a little bit past Christmas now. Easter's over too.
Well, at some point you just wait. Then you can just say you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, right. Like in about 2.5 months, you can be like, I'm just preparing for this coming Christmas.
Just getting ahead of the game.
Yeah. So just really just declutter and organizing. Great time to kind of donate stuff to Goodwill, Salvation Army, Loving, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But so Brad, for someone that's thinking about selling, what's one of the highest ROI items? We talk about decking. I'm putting a deck on this year, a new deck, and it's not a great ROI, right? So what are some of the highest ROI items that someone can do to their home if they're thinking about selling today?
Without a doubt, it was the first thing we mentioned out of the gate it's curb appeal.
Yep.
You gave a great example of, especially early in the season like this, putting down those mulch beds, getting those cleaned up, making sure the exterior of the home looks really good. Because how many times have you had a buyer pull up to a house and be like, "No, we're not even going in,"
Yeah.
because they're so turned off by, could be a location thing, but a lot of times it's a curb appeal thing, and it can be a big mistake, and it can cost you a lot of money. Because if you start out with a negative, and going inside, once you get the greatest inside, but you're overcoming that initial curb appeal, and that can be a lot of money to spend too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add one more thing too, and it's not that expensive to add mulch and just do
little things go a long way.
Right. I'll also add, because spring is coming up, open your windows, air out your house. Maybe get your carpets cleaned. If you have a dog, a cat, a hamster that runs around, a ferret, right? Whatever, ferrets, possums. Get the house, get your carpets clean, get your couches clean if you have carpet, because that smell, your house is locked up, even though you have filtration and all that air filters and all that good stuff. It's a smell that kind of lingers. Or if you're a smoker and you smoke in the house too.
Okay.
So yeah.
What about just we covered a lot of great things. Any final advice you think we've missed, or you just want to really, I guess, hammer home?
I think the biggest thing is be proactive, right? We have talked about a lot of these maintenance things that if you do them on a normal basis, it's going to save you thousands and thousands of dollars down the road, right? So be proactive, make your home a better place to enjoy for the season and upcoming years.
Putting mowing your lawn, I actually this weekend I was looking, I'm like, man, I should really go out and cut the grass. And I'm like, nah, I'll wait another week. I'm a little concerned that was a bad idea, because it was starting to get to the point where I'm like, if it gets too long, it's tough for your mower. You might end up having to mow it twice, or it takes longer. So when the yard's ready, everybody's yard's different. I've driven by plenty of yards that aren't quite ready. Mine is. It's just but it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to shift gears a little bit. So kind of mentioned at the beginning, local events this week that we can enjoy with some of the spring weather we've got coming with the community.
Yeah, so there are some fun things happening just around Burlington this week. I know we have the 5K Wisconsin Walk.
Yep.
The Wisconsin Way event, which is we talked about last week, is the beer and wine tasting.
Get the bibs ready.
Yep, bibs, koozies.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a great event. What other things are happening, Brian?
Baby goat therapy and snuggles. I have no idea what that is. I guess I will just say how it sounds, but it sounded kind of cute and good for kids. 21 sip and skate social. It's a fun night out option. I believe that's at the skate park, but we'll have to verify that. And then heritage wheat and bread making workshop in the area is going on. So
all right.
I don't know though if you bread makers or somebody aspiring bread makers. None of that sounds good to me. I'm old fashioned with my golf.
Yeah, a couple things going on. Lake Geneva, Twin Lakes, things like that. Lake Geneva has the amazing race style tour coming up, and then a garden focused event if you're trying to get new ideas for your home. And then Twin Lakes has a color run, not this weekend, but next weekend.
Sure.
So if you're looking to do something, the color run, I've done it, did it with my wife years ago, but it's a great family event for upcoming things. So
all these we found just by simply searching online through Google search, a simple Google search. So just go online. If any of these sound interesting to you, search them. You'll find out locations, places, times, and all that good stuff. Either way, it's a great time of year to kind of reconnect locally. We support small businesses, as everyone knows. The Burlington Street tear up and redo is coming there real shortly in North Pine Street. So please remember, get out and support your local businesses, because I think the traffic flow is going to be impacted for several months.
So let's talk about one of your most favorite events of the year.
Seriously, don't lie.
It's the Masters. I watch golf on Sundays. That's about it. I just who wins. That's all we really care about, right? Like how they got there. It's going to be the same. They scored a low. They made some great shots. That's how they get there. Let's watch who closes it out. So let's talk about the Masters, right?
Yeah. Even if you're not a huge golf fan, there's just something special about this tournament. I know my family members, even some of my friends in the past that have hung around during Masters weekend that aren't really into golf at all, they just get sucked in. And for those of you, I don't know if you've ever been. I got the pleasure to go to a
I have
practice
not.
round. Oh my gosh, that's 10 years ago now. And the the stuff you see on camera, how they present the Augusta National facilities, it doesn't even do it justice.
No,
It's not
I
even
can imagine.
close. So
Yeah, yeah. So, a few cool facts about this event. The Masters started in 1934. So, we're not quite 8 years away
mhm.
from the 100-year anniversary, which is pretty crazy. Founded by Bobby Jones, a legendary golfer back in his day.
One of the top amateur golfers of his time,
Yep.
because for those who don't know, he was actually a very successful attorney, was his primary income
No, interesting.
before sports incomes, of course,
Yeah,
blew up.
yeah. It's played at the same course every year, Augusta National.
Only major that's played the same course every year.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So
And of course, very unique. There is a trophy, but the winner gets a green jacket. You get access also to the winners have a champions locker room. They get invited every year to the champions dinner. So those are a couple like unique things. And then of course the green jacket, which rules of the course and the tournament. When you win, Rory McIlroy won last year. He got to keep his green jacket with him anywhere he went, wear it or wherever, for 1 year. When he came back this year, he had to bring it back, and you can only wear it when you're on the grounds.
Yep, yeah.
So kind of a unique tradition with that.
It is pretty cool. And just the Green Jackets started in 1949. So 15 years after, the tournament actually started. But like you said, the winners get to keep it for a year. It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then it stays under the hangs in their master's closet. So
couple other historical things. Tiger Woods, of course, he's got a lot of records. He is the youngest winner ever at 21 years old. And certain months, I can't remember who's right behind him. I think it's like Jordan Spieth or somebody like that is right behind him.
Yeah.
At like 21, some extra months or 2 years or whatever, or 22 years old. But it's kind of cool.
He is also one of the only Masters winners to get 2 DUIs, right? Just throw it out there. I mean, here's the best. I saw the best meme the other day. We're going to throw this out because it's quite comical. It was 3 people standing. It was Tiger Woods said, "Who has the most DUIs?" Right? It was Tiger Woods with his back to us, had the number 2 on it, and then they think it was supposed to be Scotty Scheffler. It was hard to make it out.
He didn't have a DUI. It was the barricades at the PGA,
right.
which I thought.
So it was 1, or maybe it was like arrested or something like that.
I think it was arrest.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it did say DUI because we know some of these guys have been arrested more times.
Yeah.
And then it was John Daly standing there smoking a cigarette with a beer in his hand, and it said 0.
He doesn't drive.
Yeah, he's smart, right? Gets to that point where he's like, "Yep, I've had too much."
Yeah.
But one of my favorite traditions is the champions dinner. The defending champion picks the menu every year, which is really cool because and then they share that menu. You can see it online. You can probably look it up today. But it's neat because it's typically around whatever that player's favorite items are, maybe their heritage, things like that. So some of these guys get to eat some very unique items.
I remember when Hideki Matsuyama won it.
Yeah.
The next year, I remember his menu was, of course, Japanese cuisine, which was there would include sushi and some other things. I'm like, man, obviously I can't ever go, but man, like that's one I would really enjoy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like they all find, and it's like a 10-course meal. It is. It's pretty extravagant. But what I think's cool about it is, like you said, everybody that's won a Masters gets to go to the champions dinner, right?
Yeah, and they're also another little thing is they're also exempt for life to play in the tournament for as long as they want to in their career.
Yep.
Which is unique because other majors, U.S. Open, PGA, it's X number of years.
Right.
I don't know what they are. It's like some of them are 10 years or whatever. But you win the Masters, you can come back and play for life.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's just very great tradition, great history there, all excellent things.
I'm excited, and yes, I do normally watch. Obviously, Sunday is the major cap of it, but believe me, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I've got my eyes on it. It's just an amazing tournament to watch.
It consumes Brad for the next week.
It does.
So
I watch all the pregame stuff too.
So spring season is here. It's fresh starts. Whether it's your home, your community, or just getting outside for a little more daylight.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or just want to advice on how to position your home, reach out to us. And then I think that's it.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Vince Devall, the Eagles Nest Podcast.
I'm Brad Brewer. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.